What's up, everybody? Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to pick number 3 of my favorite 30 albums of the 1960s countdown, which we've been doing each and every day here in the month of September 2023. 30 days in the month. We're all picking out our 30 favorite albums released during the 1960s across all music genres, right? Rock, pop, hard rock, proto-metal, proto-prog, jazz, fusion, folk, whatever it might be, swing music, whatever it might be. Doesn't matter. It's all up for grabs. I'm only doing one album per artist or band. Got a wide open playing field. We've squeezed in some great albums, some legendary albums. My top 5, crazy. It's funny. It's like, some people are like, well, I can't believe that album came in at number 5 or number 4. What could possibly be better than that, Pete? Remember, it's not better. It's just what these albums mean to the individual. To me, personally, I'm the one who put these together, right? There's not much that separates these albums, right? So again, like the last two, Are You Experienced and Led Zeppelin 2. I mean, could I easily flip-flop and have Hendrix at 4 and Zepp at 5? Yeah. Could I have Zepp at 2 and Hendrix at 1? Perhaps. There's not much that separates these, so I wouldn't get too hung up on exactly where the top ones fit. Because again, sometimes you just like some of these albums just a little bit more. Like I may like Zeppelin better as a band overall than my number 1 or my number 3, right? But maybe just these albums, right? Because we're in the 60s. These albums, I rank them just slightly higher, right? It's just so it's, what are you going to do, right? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, I love this album today, Pete, but man, how does it rank above Zeppelin 2 for you? Well, slightly. It just does. At least, this month, right? If you ask me in a year from now, I might be like, yeah. But anyway, this album is the debut from this American band, released November 4th, 1969. Just barely squeaks in, right? The 60s, recorded at Atlantic Studios in New York City. Produced by Adrian Barber for Atco and Capricorn Records. I'm talking about the self-titled release from the Allman Brothers Band. Yeah, I know a lot of you knew this was coming. You just weren't sure where it was coming. I mean, this is my favorite Allman Brothers Band. Most of you know I am an enormous Allman Brothers fan. This is my favorite album by them. And it's just, to me, it's a legendary album. The birth of Southern rock, obviously. Although, does it really sound a lot like the Southern rock bands that came much later on? Maybe not. This is more of like a great blues rock album, right? And it totally rocks. Greg Allman, organ and lead vocals. Duane Allman, lead and slide guitars. Dickie Betts, lead guitar. Barry Oakley, bass guitar, backing vocals. Jai Johansson, otherwise known as J-Mo, on drums and congas and percussion, and Butch Trucks on drums and percussion. You only got 7 songs on here. It's all it really needs, right? Don't Want You No More leads it off. Quick little, very cool, southerny blues song, right? But it rocks also. Great twin guitars from these two cats on this album, and amazing vocals from Greg Allman. It's Not My Cross to Bear. Ah, so good. So good. And Duane Allman, the two guitar players, Duane Allman's the guy who really kind of rose to the top among the duo on these early albums. I don't think we would really start to recognize the true greatness of Dickie Betts till probably the second album, Idlewild South. Certainly on the 4th album, Brothers and Sisters, which after we lost Duane, and Dickie was kind of left to pick up the pieces, right? I mean, then we're like, holy cow, this guy is great. But he was great on these early albums, too. It's just that Duane just shined a little bit more, right? Black-Hearted Woman, just terrific. That's just an example of great early heavy blues rock. Totally rocks. And, man, I love Greg's vocals on this album, and especially on that song. Trouble No More. The dizzying guitars, the screaming slide, I mean, just so good. What a great slide player Duane was. Great lead player, great slide player. Excellent stuff. Every Hungry Woman. Another great song. Love the harmony guitars, man. The riffing is so good. The simmering organ in the background, those great bluesy vocals. Just excellent. Dreams is psychedelic. Love Greg's Hammond organ on this. Just the whole song just kind of atmospheric. It floats, it simmers and boils. Just a great, great track. Dreams is so good. And then, of course, the legendary Whipping Post. You know, Barry's doom dooga dooga doom dooga dooga doom dooga dooga doom doom. That bass is just so good, and the guitars, the slashing, snarling guitars come in. Of course, Whipping Post, terrific on the original studio version, but it's just barely over 5 minutes long. Great soloing from the duo, but man, live, this took on all sorts of proportions, huge and enormous and extravagant. 20-30 minute long versions of Whipping Post, just amazing guitar solo, and so good, so good. I love this album. It's such a short record too. I mean, this is like what is it, like 32 minutes or something like that. It's just barely 7, 12, 15, 21. Yeah, it's just over 30 minutes, like 32, 33 minutes. It's all it needs to be, though. It's just perfect. And like I said, as great as these studio versions are, you know, they play these songs live and they just take on a whole new dimension. So, yeah, not a weak moment on this entire album. And, yeah, it's my number 3. My number 3. Yeah, you know, it's like, I get it. Lots of people, you know, and for their lists, they were like, well, Hendrix and Zeppelin have to come above this, as great as this is. I get it. For you guys, I get it. You know, for me, this is a really special album. Not that the others aren't. They're all special. My top 10, hell, shit, all my top 30 are really special, right? So, yeah, but I just love this album. So let us know what you think. Oh, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Charting positions. Surprisingly enough, this was not a big album, right? This only made it to number 188 on the U.S. Billboard charts, right? So not much of a seller, didn't certify, right? So at least let me just double check. Hold on, I think maybe this did certify. Yes, it did. Later on, 500,000 copies. Okay. Eventually. But that took a while. So yeah. It's one of my favorites. Let us know what you think of the Allman Brothers Band self-titled release down in the comments below, as well as your pick for today. Pick number 3. Only 2 left. Anybody know what they might be or what the order is? Most of you have already picked them. You know what my number 1 and 2 are coming, right? Probably it surprises many of you to think that I would choose my number 1 or 2 over acts like the Allmans or Led Zeppelin or Jimi Hendrix or anybody else, but it's the way it goes, right? We all have our favorites. So stay tuned for number 2 for me tomorrow. Till then, visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page. So thanks in advance for all your support there. And we'll see you also Cameo page. I got to get that into the rotation. Cameo as well. We get the Cameo down below, link below if you want me to do a personalized video for you. Stay tuned for pick number 2 coming up at you tomorrow. Tune in tonight for the Monsters Den. We got our Q&A episode happening, so tune in and see what questions we'll be answering and what we are answering. So that's coming up tomorrow night. So till then, I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you real soon here with more stuff. Number 2 tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.